Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Buns, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is on its way soon, October 25th. There's a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right into it. Starting things off, you can see there is a new game engine. This has DirectX 12 support, and that is what makes things a little interesting. They are going to be having ray tracing supported by NVIDIA, but not in a normal way. Certain games have used reflections, shadows, and global illumination, but this is going to be using ray tracing for audio to have more realistic directional sound. I don't know exactly how this works. I didn't know ray tracing was something that can be done on a non-visual level, but it's going to make things overall more realistic, more directional, and they even said that the Doppler effect will be a thing in game, and if you don't know what that is, that's like if you have a race car driving by you, it's going the exact same speed the entire time, but it sounds like it's getting higher pitched as it gets closer and gets lower pitched as it gets farther away, because the sound waves are moving and they are getting closer to you and then spreading out as they get farther away from you. Somewhat complicated. Look up a video on it. It's pretty awesome. It's very interesting, and the game's gonna be having that, so that's really cool. Next up is, since it is more realistic, as you can see, they are going with realistic recoil. Now, I know a lot of games try to get realistic recoil, such as Escape from Tarkov, Battlefield, but this is going to be a little different because it's not just going to have one recoil pattern like most Call of Duties and certain games have. This is going to be a different system in place for Call of Duty ever, and it's going to be something more similar to Escape from Tarkov, if you looked into that at all, and or Battlefield 5. But it's not going to be a standard recoil pattern. It is going to be different for every weapon. You're going to have to learn every single weapon. It's not just going to be like every assault rifle feels the same, every burst rifle feels the same. It's going to be extremely dynamic, and that's going to be really interesting because it's going to change up your play style, because you can't always predict what that weapon is going to be like in what situation until you really get used to it. So that's actually really nice. From single player and multiplayer reveals, we have a lot of weapons so far shown. I'll put them up on the screen for you guys. And speaking of weapons, there are apparently 30 to 60 weapon mods for most of the weapons in game. But there is going to be a downside. So since they are not using the point system anymore, where certain mods cost points, they are going to be having it to where the more mods you have on your weapon, the slower it will be to ADS. And I'm assuming, I'm not sure, the slower your character will be overall. That might just be a gear thing, but it could also entail how your character's movement overall is going to be as well. There's also a lot of perks in the game, as you can probably see. I'm just throwing them up all on screen. There's perk slots 1, 2, and 3, and there are plenty to go through. Again, this isn't everything in the game that we know of. This is just what we've seen from gameplay that they have shown off so far. There's also plenty of lethal equipment and tactical equipment, as you can see again. And kill streaks are, again, still a thing because it's Call of Duty, so why would you not want kill streaks? And again, just make sure to pay attention to your screen. I'm throwing all of this stuff up on for you guys because it's a lot of information to take in at one time. So starting off, breaching. You can now breach doors. There's going to be doors in the first place in the game, which is great. So they're going to be dynamic doors is what they're calling it right now, where explosives and concussions will just blast open the doors. You can standard just walk up, open the door. That's something that I wouldn't recommend because then you're just normal. Sprinting and smashing open the door. That's what I'm interested in. That's going to be great. You're going to take everybody by surprise. They're not going to know what's happening. And then you can also press the use button on the door while you're ADSing, which is a stealth that opens the door slightly so that you're able to use throwables and throw them into the room, and I'm assuming close the door from there and or open it after, you know, a grenade goes off or a flashbang, etc. That's going to make things very tactical and very much change up the situation depending on how you want to play. If someone's coming after you and you don't know what to do and you hide in a room, you can't just be watching that door because they might be able to just open it slightly, throw a flashbang in, and then you're going to be seeing the, you know, death screen. So have fun with that. Take it the way you will. I'm very interested in seeing how a game actually takes this into consideration. Weapon mounting is also a very new feature to Call of Duty that I am very interested to see how it plays out, because I've never actually thought about using a bipod so much in Call of Duty other than on mounted weapons. Like, you know, playing Battlefield, you always just run out, you get your bipod, and you just destroy everybody. So seeing this in a Call of Duty game is going to be very interesting, and seeing how it plays out. But you're able to mount your weapon up on vertical objects. So say you run up on a doorway, you could post up against that doorway and pivot on that point that you're posted up against. So you can actually be on one side of the doorway and pivot all the way around into the room while having more stability, so less recoil, better accuracy, and overall, I'm assuming decent speed when you're pivoting because you are in one central spot while you're doing your movement. So that's going to be very tactical, and I'm assuming since they threw it out that they're doing it with doorways, doing that pivot move while you throw something into that room with your tactical, you know, silent open door grenade, whatever, that's going to be really awesome and interesting to see. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out, because again, this is not just standard Call of Duty run and gun, completely different movement system. Next up is night vision. So night vision is going to be a completely different way to play in Call of Duty, and really in most games as of right now. There will have maps that are completely dark, except you will have lights, but those lights are dynamic. You can turn them on and off, allowing you to disrupt your enemy's vision. With, you know, if they have their night vision goggles on and you turn the lights on, they will be blinded and have to use either, you know, their audio to try to find out where you are and just shoot you when they can't see, or take the time to take the goggles off so that they will be able to interact with the environment, find out what's happening. But there is one downside to having night vision goggles. When you have them on, they talked with actual military soldiers on how this works and why they need to do this. You will have a half ADS is what they're calling it, a half aim down sight, where you cannot fully aim down your sight and look down your weapon's scope because the goggles get in the way. So it's more or less kind of just having your weapon up partially, where you know you're going to be more accurate, but you don't exactly know how accurate you're going to be. And when you do this half ADS move, the laser light on your weapon, if you have one on, will automatically turn on. So you have to be very cautious of when you do that, because when you have night vision goggles on, that laser is very, very visible by everyone else who has their night vision goggles on as well. So be very careful on how you use that. Something that I think is extremely interesting that I've never actually thought about in a Call of Duty game that much is finishing attacks. Now, I know if you've played Battlefield before, you understand that you come up behind somebody, you melee them, and you take their dog tags. This is going to be somewhat similar to that. I don't know if you're going to be taking any dog tags, but you will be able to melee from behind and have a finishing attack. And each operator has their own attack. So there's going to be different operators in the game. They're all going to have their own attack when you come up from behind somebody. And you're going to be able to go a little interesting in how you want to play your game, because I'm assuming they're going to have challenges and, you know, tags for getting so many, you know, finishing attacks with certain people. So there's going to be a lot of people that kill you in game, and you're going to see that they have a lot of those tags in their background. They're going to be some pros, so get ready for that. Something that comes to no surprise to really anybody, because they are very much focusing on realism with the new engine, the new way that the game plays, everything. They're going to be having a realistic game mode. Now, this realistic game mode is basically going to be hardcore in, you know, every other game, where you have less of a heads-up display and less info. So you're not going to be having any hit markers, you're not going to hear any sounds of hit markers. None of that stuff is going to be a very tactical, realistic. You have to know what your teammates look like, know what the enemies look like, and communicate very easily so that you're not, you know, killing your teammates. Then nobody likes you, so be careful. One of my favorite parts is they're going to be having 3 different map sizes. They're going to be having flash map sizes, which are made for 2v2 situations and game modes. They will have tactical map sizes for 6v6 and 10v10, which are, you know, the normal standard Call of Duty player count per game, roughly. And then you have battle map sizes, which will be 20v20 and up to 100 players. That 100 player game mode is going to be something chaotic. I can guarantee you that, with the amount of detail they have going into this game, with breaching doors, weapon mounting, tactical sprinting. I'll get on that in a second. So many different things are going to be happening with 100 players in one map, and it's going to feel like an all-out massive war. Now, as I just touched on, tactical sprinting, something I am actually really excited about. Sometimes I don't really like running around all the time looking for somebody, so I wish I could just do it faster. That's where tactical sprinting comes in, or super sprinting. You can sprint much faster, but of course there's going to be a downside. It will take you longer to get your ADS up and ready. So when you are running with your tactical and or super sprint, you have a longer period of time in between bringing your weapon up after sprinting is completed to aiming down your sights. So it's one of those, you know, situation kind of things. You got to be ready for it, so you might not want a tactical sprint, but if you're just amazing laser-like beam accuracy, you just pick your gun up and juke the enemies out, and then by the time your guy is finally done being ready, then you just do what you do. But yeah, be careful with that, because it will take time to get your ADS up. It's faster, but it's slower at the same time. Something that might disappoint a lot of people is there's going to be no zombies sort of mode. That's just not going to be in the game, at least not yet. From all the sources that I'm finding out, they're just saying there's not going to be a zombies mode. In my opinion, this is okay, because they are taking on the game in a very different way, and they could always add this in later as a DLC, you know, something like that. But I guess, you know, that's another thing, another topic. They're not going to have a season pass, so I don't think DLC is going to be costing anything. I think they're going the route with Battlefield 5 where that DLC thing is literally what it is, downloadable content. There is no pay for this, pay for that. The only thing in this game that they're going to have that you pay for is additional pre-order stuff where you get like stuff in game. And then the only microtransactions in this game is going to be for cosmetics only. They very much said cosmetics only, which I'm totally fine with. If you want to look cool, you want to be cool, you will be cool. You just got to pay the price, but you don't actually get any advantage. You want to unlock anything faster. So that's always something nice to see, is people not taking your money just so that you can win the game. That's always great to see. Thank you, Battlefront. Throwing back a little bit onto that 2v2 flash size map, that's a game called Gunfight. It's a 2v2, very, very close quarters. I guarantee there will be those co-ops that are going to be extremely hardcore that go 2v2 and just go nuts and obliterate each other. And I'm very excited to see a lot of clips on YouTube for that. Speaking of co-op, they are going to be having co-op missions as well. Single player missions, basically, with your friends. I love that. I love playing tactical shooter games with my friends, but I don't always like going up against people because you have to deal with network problems, or just, you know, the Call of Duty community can be a little sketchy sometimes. So having a co-op mission set up with your friends is going to be wonderful. Going back a little bit as well to when we talked about the 30 to 60 mods per weapon that you can put on your gun, the attachment system is going to be insane. It's called gunsmithing, and it will allow you to make your weapon exactly how you want it. This is something that made me want to play Escape from Tarkov. Again, if you've never seen it before, go look it up. It's a crazy game, it's cool. But I love that game so much because there is infinite customization where you just do whatever you want with that gun. If you want a gun with more sights than you need just because you want to, or you want to have 4 tactical lasers, you do it. I don't know if this game is going to have you have 4 tactical lasers on your weapon, but it will be a very realistic, put your gun together the way you want it, play the way you want it, which is going to be amazing for every player out there. Nobody is going to be against that because you get to play the game you want. It's not just, here, you unlocked a red dot sight, that's your only sight you can have with this gun. Now everybody plays the same way because that's what everybody unlocked. You play it the way you want. You do exactly what you want with your weapons. That's amazing. You can change your playstyle without having to change your weapon. I love that feature. The part you've all been waiting for, cross-platform, is planned to come to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. I don't know how many people are going to feel about this, but I definitely do want to be able to play this game with my friends that don't always have PC, because that's what I personally play on. But that's going to be amazing. I mean, Fortnite did it, and it changed the game. You know, everybody was able to play together, and it didn't really seem to be a problem after a few months where everybody was, you know, this isn't fair, that's not fair. I think this game is going to be a little different, but I definitely am very proud that they are going this route of allowing gamers from multiple platforms to get together and actually be able to play on different platforms while still maintaining that friendship that we all need. Another thing I know everybody is excited for is vehicles. There will actually finally be vehicles again in Call of Duty. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to change up the playstyle of everyone, and it's going to be something that you definitely have to watch out for if you're not used to that. And last but certainly not least, the one thing we've all been waiting for more than anything else, your character's watch hands will be showing the correct time. September 12th to the 13th is the PS4 pre-order beta. September 14th to the 16th is the PS4 open beta. September 19th to the 20th is the PC, Xbox One pre-order beta, and PS4 open beta still continues. And then September 21st to the 23rd is the PC, Xbox One, PS4 all-platform open beta. And the second beta weekend will include cross-platform play testing. So make sure to tell your friends, September 21st through the 23rd, every platform has open beta. You don't have to pre-order, and you can cross-platform in that second week. That's going to be insane. I'm very excited to see it. Just to let you guys know, I do stream on Twitch very often. Link is in the description. I will be playing the beta as soon as I get my hands on it. Make sure to keep up with that. I'll be posting videos as well. It's going to be great. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Have a great time. Enjoy Call of Duty when it comes out. I'll be putting out more content on it soon. And have a wonderful night, guys.